Good morning, students. I hope you're enjoying staying home and keeping yourself safe and even started your studies well. Okay, so today we'll start with the next topic that is called the states of matter. Now, before we start the topic, you keep your books, notebooks, and everything ready. Okay, can we start, dear? Okay, fine. Let's start. So basically, there are three states of matter. This you've heard in your lower classes also. There are three states: solids, liquids, and gases. Can you tell me the examples of solid? Tell me the examples of solid. Any idea what are the examples? Like pen, your pencil, isn't it? These are all examples. And what about the liquids? What about the liquids here? What are the examples of liquid? Can you give me the examples of liquid? Let's write down all the examples again. I'm writing it again for you. So solids example is, let's suppose, pen, pencil. You can write any other example also. Liquid. What is the best liquid that you know? Exactly. The example is water. Isn't it? The water. We drink water. We need water everywhere. So it is also called as the best solvent. Okay. So water is the best example of liquid. An example of gas. Which gas you breathe? Oxygen. Correct. Oxygen. Then nitrogen, which is present in 78% of air, is oxygen. Hydrogen. These are all examples of gases. So basically there are three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gases, and these are their examples. Now we'll discuss the properties of each state. Okay, we'll first take up the solid. Let's see what are the properties of solid. Okay, so solids basically they have a definite shape. The first property is this, that they have a definite shape. If you look at the pen, the shape of the pen is fixed, right? It has fixed volume. Okay, so solids have definite shape and fixed volume. Secondly, the space between the particles is minimum. Okay, the space between the particles is minimum, and the force of attraction is maximum. The particles are very tightly bound with each other, and there is the movement of particles is very less. Since they have a very tight force of attraction, so the movement is very less, and they are least compressible. Compressible means अगर हम उन्हें हाथ से दबाएं तो हम उनकी शेप को चेंज नहीं कर सकते हैं, राइट? अगर हम पेन को प्रेस करते हैं तो क्या हम पेन को चेंज कर सकते हैं? नहीं कर सकते. अगर हम टेबल पे अपना प्रेशर लगाते हैं तो क्या हम टेबल की शेप बदल सकते हैं? नहीं बदल सकते. सो दे आर लीस्ट कंप्रेसिबल. बट समटाइम्स यू सी रबर इज ऑल्सो सॉलिड. अगर हम उस पर फोर्स लगाते हैं तो हम रबर की शेप चेंज कर पाते हैं. सो दैट इज वाई वी आर सेइंग दे आर लीस्ट कंप्रेसिबल. वी आर नॉट सेइंग दे आर अनकंप्रेसिबल. ओके, एंड देयर रेट ऑफ डिफ्यूजन इज लीस्ट. मीन्स द सॉलिड्स do not mix with each other, or you can say they mix the rate of mixing is very slow. It is the least. So this diagram depicts all your properties. This is a brick that we are showing. The brick is a solid, and the particles, see, they are very tightly packed with each other. The space is very less. They cannot move. Okay, and this give a fixed shape to the brick, right? So these 6 points are very important. Now coming to the liquids. See, liquids do not have a definite shape. The example of liquid is water. Do you think water has a shape? No. But you put the water in the glass, it will take the shape of the glass. If you put the water in the bowl, it will take the shape of the bowl. So liquids do not have the fixed shape, but they have a fixed volume, and they take the shape of the container in which we put. The space between the particles intermediate. Intermediate means it is lesser than the solids and it is more than the gases. So intermediate. The force of attraction is again intermediate. Solids से कम है, gases से ज़्यादा है. Again, the motion of particles is intermediate. Same. They are less compressible. Yes, they are less compressible. Okay. Means अगर हम water पे pressure डालते हैं तो हम इसे compress कर सकते हैं, लेकिन बहुत कम. And the rate of diffusion is more than the solids. See, अगर हम पानी में ink mix करते हैं, याद है? Example, in the yesterday class we have discussed that if you put a drops of ink in the water, we can see the motion of the ink in the water. हमें ink के particles move होते हुए नजर आते हैं, right? So they diffuse, but their ability to diffuse is more than solids. Solids have a least diffusion ability. Their diffusion is more than solids. This we can see in the diagram. This bottle is having a liquid, and the particles, they are not so, you can say, they are not so closely packed as in case of solids, but and their force, they are not so well organized, so they do not have a fixed shape. Their space is also intermediate, force of attraction is also intermediate, movement is also intermediate, and they are less compressible. Okay. Now let's come to the gases. Gases. Do you think gases have a fixed shape and size? No, gases do not have fixed shape or fixed volume. They do not have any, neither their shape is fixed nor their volume is fixed. But they occupy the space in the container. अगर हम container में उन्हें डाल देते हैं, तो even a small quantity of gas can fill the container. Okay? Because the particles are very far away from each other. The space between the particles is maximum. The space between the particles is maximum. The force of attraction is minimum. You can see in this diagram, they are very far away from each other. So there is a large distance between the two particles, right? They are very far away from each other. Particles are very far away from each other. So the force of attraction is minimum and the space is maximum. And if you apply force from all directions, you can compress them. So the compressibility is very, very high here, right? Gases are highly compressible. And the rate of diffusion, means the rate of mixing of particles, is also maximum. ठीक है? अगर हम अगरबत्ती जलाते हैं तो बहुत जल्दी से अगरबत्ती की स्मेल हम तक पहुंच जाती है. अगर हम परफ्यूम यूज करते हैं तो बहुत जल्दी से परफ्यूम की स्मेल हम तक पहुंच जाती है. दिस इज बिकॉज कि जो परफ्यूम के पार्टिकल्स हैं या जो खाने के पार्टिकल्स हैं वो बहुत जल्दी एयर के गैस के पार्टिकल्स या एयर के पार्टिकल्स के साथ मिक्स होकर हम तक पहुंच जाते हैं. सो the rate of diffusion is very, very fast in case of gases. Okay? Okay, dear students? Tomorrow we'll compare the properties of all. Today we have studied the individual property of solid, liquid, and gases. Tomorrow we'll compare these three states. We'll talk about the differences between the solid, liquid, and gases. Right? So let's see again. Three of them. You see, this is a solid. Solids have, the particles are very closely packed with each other. In liquid, they have still some space. They can move. The force of attraction is lesser than the solids. In gases, again, the particles are very far away from each other. The distance, or the space between the particles is very high. So force of attraction is less, and they have the maximum movement. Right? So reverse can be shared here. The sea solids, again liquid and gases. You can easily compare in the diagram, but tomorrow we'll discuss the difference, and I hope you'll be answering that difference if you understood this particular lecture today. Right, students? I hope you enjoyed it. Yes. So let's come to your homework. First of all, you'll make notes of this topic and you'll read page number 4 and 5 of the NCERT. You will underline these important points that we have talked about today, and then you will complete question number 1 and 2 on page 6 of your NCERT. So these 3 work you will complete, and you will put the photographs of your work done in the group. Right, students? I'll check the homework and I'll get back to you. I'll give you the proper feedback. Okay? So enjoy the studies, the online classes, and keep reporting. Bye everyone.